is that supposedly this bill is going to wait for to be resubmitted. One of them came out from the Annals of Neurology, again, as you would presume, saying that football played before the age of 12 can cause CTE.
Damage, yeah.
So can bicycle riding for that matter. But I mean, so anyhow, that bill is going to come, or that study's coming out. They're going to rally around that now.
Yeah.
Should politicians have a say in this?
Well, I mean, I think that we need more information. This bill should not be based on one study.
Well, now it's going to be based on two, though. The second, and I guarantee you, and it's also based on a movie and all the other studies.
There should be so much more money allocated. I mean, to be honest, the NFL is profiting $10 billion a year, and from the collective bargaining agreement in 2011, they're only giving, from what I read, less than $10 million a year to studies. I mean, it's absolutely baffling to not want to actually find a cure, because I've done things. I realized when the movie came out and I started to see signs from different players that I played with, I realized that there's a good chance that I have this. And now with the most recent studies where 114 out of the 115 brains did have CTE, I would have to say, if I look at my brain from a business perspective, there's a 99% chance that I have CTE. But
probably not, because you're able to do all the math in your head right now.
Who knows? I could be doing something else if I didn't start playing football since the 8th grade. But that's not the point. Is I want to actually find the cure for this, because through helmets and through different things, equipment that we can improve, and to uphold a culture that my family actually helped build over the last 100 years, I want to actually save the sport of football by finding a cure, because I actually was one of those guys that I was starting to go down a path that, I was drinking a couple glasses of wine a night, and I wasn't waking up with an exact plan, and I wasn't, going to sleep memorizing my day and reflecting, and those different things. And through meditation, I feel 5 times better today than I did 5 years ago. And so I know that if I can get that much better, that if we had the information, if we had the funding, and we had all of these studies, that we can save the sport of football. And I think you can be a big part of it.
Well, we have video of you speaking in Las Vegas. What were you doing there?
So that's a whole other story, but I feel...
Well, what was that about? Who are you speaking to?
This is the Las Vegas Stadium Authority Board.
And why was Cam Siskowic at the podium?
Well, it's a complicated answer. I told you I have the 100-year history of my family, and my great-great-grandfather, who is the head coach at Ohio State and made the decision to play Jack Trice, kind of inspired me. And there's the Jack Trice Stadium in Iowa State, and I went over that in my speeches. And I really just, to see Junior Seau do what he did to himself to prove that CTE is real, and then have the Chargers leave town, and see the Raiders try to raid Las Vegas without funding studies to see what really is going on with these minds.
I guess I'm a little vague. You're trying to tie it into the Raiders Stadium being built. Yeah. Explain to me the connection between you and speaking there, and what does the Raiders Stadium being built in Las Vegas have to do with CTE and your... draw that correlation for me.
We feel like I have a group of players who are willing to speak out about it eventually once we get some momentum here, but we feel that it's the final piece to the puzzle for the NFL. Once that stadium is built, it's
they're going to be raking in lots of money.
And Las Vegas has done a lot for me. It's given me a fantastic business, and I am thankful for the city. I love living there. I don't think that we should build a stadium that may have a whole league that's basically on strike. The collective bargaining agreement ends 2020. And we're building a stadium that's going to open 2020. We'd like to have some players, right? Okay. So let's start having the conversation right now.
Well, is there a CTE connection, though, between the stadium being built and you speaking there? I would thought you were saying that you feel like the stadium's being rushed through, that there also should be there also should be an emphasis, besides building this cathedral in Las Vegas, there should be more money dedicated to the CTE side.
If we're going to publicly subsidize the most expensive stadium in U.S. history, I think that the Raiders need to, publicly dedicate X amount of funds to funding research. For
Raiders or the NFL?
The Raiders and the NFL. I mean, but there needs to be one owner first, and someone needs to be bold and go out there and do that. And if they do that, it's the same thing like what I talked about in my book. They're going to build their brand, and they're going to actually get fans from a city like San Diego and a city like LA and Las Vegas and Oakland that are all fans right now who are thinking they don't even know if they want to be fans of football anymore. So they can gain those fans, or they can lose them to the Chargers or the Rams. But the first owner that acts and funds studies, I feel like, is going to be the winner for these four main.
And so you're employing
cities,
the
yes.
Vegas ownership, to Mr. Davis and whatnot. Do you
That's
think?
what
Do you
I'm
think
asking.
Do you think Mark Davis knows who Cameron Siskowic is?
I'm not sure.
Do you think he will one day?
Yes.
All right, boy, young man, you've come a long way since
think
we've
we
done the
have-
Play of the Week T-shirts, kid.
I think we have a chance to save thousands of lives. I know that former players.
When you
that
say
I'm
we,
friends with-
who are you referring to? A group in particular?
Former players that I played with or friends
Do you have
that
a name?
I've met in Las Vegas. Different guys. Laurent Robinson has.
No, but I
already-
mean, does your
yeah.
group have a name?
We don't have a name.
So you're
or
not. You're an
anything like
informal
that.
organization.
Yeah, it's not an organization. It's just a
group
of
of
my
guys.
friends that are willing to come speak at the next Las Vegas Stadium Authority meeting.
Which is?
I think it's in May. I don't know. I forgot. My memory's not that good. Remember? It's not funny.
I know it's not. I know it's. So I mean, so we're going to get into this. We're going to talk about all this at 5:45. I mean, you're pretty passionate about this, young man.
I dedicated my life to charity work, and after trying to save kids with cancer and all of that, I need to make sure that my brain is still here, and I'm.
So
I'm
don't you have to
begging
go
for
do
it.
the baseline deal? Do you think there's some people coming out of the woodwork who are seeing that there's good?
Yeah, there's a complete mess going on right now, and that's what we're going to see. We're going to see Roger Goodell and the NFL, which they just have this sham of a settlement that signed away all the players' rights, and now there's players that are getting accused of fraud. It's just going to be a mess, and no one's going to remember that we should stay focused, which is tough for us football players to do. We get distracted easily on finding a cure, and that's all we should focus on.
Now, do you think there is a cure, or do you think it's the cure?
Treatments, and I mean, people are hooking up their brains to electric waves and teaching themselves with neurofeedback machines and all this stuff. There's a cure that will be out there. There's a definitive
In our lifetime.
diagnosis.
In my lifetime.
Bill Gates just said that Alzheimer's will be cured in the next 5 years. So we can cure CTE. We just need more information. We need funding from the league that's profited from the cover-up over the last 10 years. You know.
You played the game in an era where the helmets weren't as good, and where the.
Yeah.
You know what? We'll have to. Cameron Siskowic, who is a good friend of mine. Can I say that?
Yeah. Sure.
And a good friend of the PPR. We're going out to the main auditorium right now. Watch us on KUSI or KUSI.com. We've just touched the iceberg.
Yeah.
Take your microphone off. We're going.
All right.
See you out there.